Right now, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Clubhouse. Happy to be here. Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, medical medium Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, because everybody has toxic heavy metals in them. You got depression, you got anxiety, depersonalization, bipolar, motions are all over the place, but don't know why. I mean, just all over the place, right? And it's just more than that. Sadness, different types of anxiety, different types of sadness. And then if you got skin conditions, vitiligo, eczema, psoriasis, you got the toxic heavy metals. Good to see you guys coming on here. Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie is what I'm making. I'm going to juice some celery too. You guys doing the morning cleanse, medical medium morning cleanse. Really exciting time because so many people are doing it. Good to see you guys. So this book right here is helping to save so many more people. Good morning. Getting your lives back, getting your health back. This book is powerful. Seaweed Hero, good to see you guys. We're live on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Clubhouse, just so you guys know when you come on here. This is on sale at Amazon.com US, $16.99, 51% off. I'm going to cover some of the other different cleanses, the 369 Advanced Cleanse, the 369 Original Cleanse, Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. So exciting. The Anti-Bug Cleanse. And you guys, next month in July, we're going to do the Anti-Bug Cleanse Challenge. So I'm really pumped up about that. So you guys want to keep that on the radar. You might want to grab a copy of the book so that when we do that Anti-Bug Cleanse Challenge in July, that you're prepared. And so Amazon has a sale on this book. Check it out. Try to get it at the library for free if you need to too. As an option. Doing the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, talking about why it's so important. Anybody dealing with anxiety and depression, this is a big one right now. So many people have it. So many people are dealing with it. So I want to make some stuff. Good to see you guys coming on TikTok. Good to see you. So loving these lives on TikTok? Incredible, incredible. So happy. So what can I do for a bloated stomach that is swollen? I look 20 months pregnant. I can't take it. Please help. So I want you to be your own detective is one thing I always tell you guys, right? The details matter. And this really kind of brings up the whole thing right here. It's like, it's not black or white. There's 50 shades of details in between. And when we want to heal or get to that finish line of healing, we got to know those details. Details matter. That's where it matters. I notice on the health scene out there, the details don't matter. It's all black or white. You're either vegan or you're animal protein, black or white. You're vegan or you're animal protein. You do collagen or you don't do collagen, black or white, right? It's just it's everything's just black or white out there, but yet everything is still under the whole umbrella of autoimmune out there. Your body's attacking itself. It's black or white. You get an autoimmune diagnosis. It's your body. It's attacking itself. That's what science research says in alternative medicine, conventional medicine. It's black or white. Everything's just black or white. So you're trapped in that. In medical medium land, when you leave the cult system, when you leave the science and research cult system, and you leave the cult system and all the alternative therapies, you leave the cult related system that's out there, and then you land in medical medium land, right? Where you got the sensible information, things make sense. Details matter. It's not black and white anymore. It's not like, are you vegan or are you animal protein? And that's it. It's like, you vegan? Okay, all good. You animal protein? Okay, all good, all set. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. In order to heal, you got to know all these details, man. You got to know these details. Austin, good to see you. Joe, good to see you, right? You got some bloating and you feel like you're 20 months pregnant. And you go out there, they're going to be shoving all kinds of stuff in you. Apple cider vinegar, try that for your bloating. Try this for your bloating. Try this for your bloating. And the details matter, like what to stay away from, what to take care of yourself, how to take care of yourself, what to do. Rebuilding hydrochloric acid is a big part of bloating, okay? And Cleanse to Heal talks about that. So if you're somebody that's got a question like, hey, I'm bloating, what do I do? I mean, the answers are here. That's a great place to start. And it's on sale, $16.99 on Amazon.com US. Check it out. Wyla Green, good to see you. So glad you're on here. Making the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. We're covering some good information too. Going to talk about anxiety, depression. Lorraine L, good to see you too. Okay. What you see right here is a leafy green, you guys, on TikTok. Can you see that? And That's a leafy green. That's cilantro. Details matter. Lynn, do you have any help on long COVID? If you look at this book right here, there's a whole section on that, just so you know. And long COVID actually stems from medical medium. That's where it's first published, and that's where it originates from, meaning the concept of long COVID actually comes from the reactivated Epstein Barr. That is actually in the medical medium book right here. New edition, though. Make sure it's the new edition right there, right? So, healing takes more than the whole black or white thing. You're just not going to heal if we see everything like that. You can't. It's just not going to happen. You might be able to manage something for a little while. You might be able to stay in the game for a little while if you're not so sick. But if we try to do the whole black or white thing, it's black and white, it's either black or white, we're just going to get in trouble because it takes more than that. Cilantro's not an answer. Details, though, matter, you guys. Lots of cilantro as a leafy green changes everything. Simple as that. Margaret Valentine, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. And just simple as that. You guys, if that's all you take from here, if that's all you take, cilantro, eat more of it. You just moved yourself forward. Boom! You moved yourself forward. Right there. Right there. I'm just saying, it matters. It matters. That simple detail. Okay? Another detail. Bananas are good for you. Here's an incredible detail. They can help you with gastroparesis. They can help you with intestinal conditions, Crohn's colitis. They can help you recover from serious digestive trouble, digestive problems. Details. Ready? Don't eat them green. But guess what? In alternative medicine out there, they're teaching you how to eat a green banana now. You just peel a green banana and you throw it in your protein shake. You throw a green banana in there, right? Green banana powder or whatever, and they just want you doing the green banana thing. Epic disaster. Epic disaster on the intestinal tract for someone who's struggling. The details matter. And here's another detail, so critical, you guys. Check this out. You guys just pick. If this is all you're taking from today, it's that worth it. You don't eat them overripe. This is getting there. That's getting there. That's borderline. But you'll hear out there in alternative medicine world, right? You'll hear, wait till they really get nice and, ripe. There's this whole thought process. You want to make sure they're really brown. You don't want them brown. You want them in between, right? You want them in between. There's a certain stage is a good time to eat a banana. It's important. These details matter. But eating green bananas is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Okay, chronic fatigue syndrome, build meal on TikTok, chronic fatigue syndrome. So cleanse and heal. There's a section in there now. Let's just we'll go over chronic fatigue syndrome for a second. This is important. So when you go back inside this book, you'll find CFS is what you'll find, okay? And I'm just cutting through the back of this book to look for CFS right now. This is an important topic right here because so many people have chronic fatigue syndrome and they're suffering with it. And it's like, where do you go? What do you do? And the details matter. So when you come in here and you look for chronic fatigue syndrome and you find it in the back of the book because that's where it is, it's in Cleanse to Heal, you'll see supplements and dosages. You might be somebody that got a diagnosis, an autoimmune diagnosis. Maybe you got lupus. Maybe you got fibro. Maybe you got some other diagnosis of some type of autoimmune diagnosis. Just know you can go in here and find the autoimmune section. And when you find the autoimmune section, you're right there. You've got answers. You've got a direction. Like if you go through the back here, here's Lyme disease right here. And here's another thing too. A lot of people who get CFS, diagnosis of chronic fatigue syndrome, they end up with a Lyme diagnosis. Most of them end up with a Lyme diagnosis. And then you look here, you'll see in Lyme disease section right here, you'll see all the different supplements, all the different dosages. So important. So chronic fatigue syndrome is caused by Epstein Barr. So when someone's dealing with chronic CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and it's chronic tiredness, right? They can't function. It's neurological fatigue. Details matter. It's not black and white. You're tired, it's CFS, black or white. No, it's neurological fatigue because of the nervous system being burdened by something. All these details matter. You see how it works, you guys? And here it is here, the CFS section right here. So MECFS, right? It's also called other things too because they rename it every decade. They never give you an answer to why anybody has CFS. Nobody ever learns why they're sick with CFS, right? But they rename it every 10 years for no reason, okay? So in the chronic fatigue syndrome section, you'll see cat's claw being really important. The reason why is because when you read this, true cause of chronic fatigue syndrome, any of the over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr virus. Ready? It's not black or white. Details matter. Over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr virus. That means people have different varieties, different strains. So important right there. Ready? Accompanied by toxic heavy metals. And we're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. So we're going to do the heavy metal detox smoothie. You guys on TikTok, I got this revved up right here so you can see it over here, right? Okay. Toxic heavy metals such as mercury and aluminum can create this condition that I call neurological fatigue. So if you hear that term out there, it originates from medical medium information. Now doctors are using it. They call it neurological fatigue. There's no scientific study with that. It comes from medical medium, which is far more pronounced and limiting than simply being tired. That's neurological fatigue. Here's another thing. Details matter. Oh my God. A high-fat, high-protein diet accelerates the condition. If you're dealing with CFS, any kind of chronic fatigue syndrome, no matter what diagnosis you have, whether it's Lyme disease or something else. See what Hero says, my dad had his best friend pass away 2 months ago from lung cancer, and his sister passed away last month. Now his dog could die this week. It's been a rough year for my dear old dad. I'm so sorry, Seaweed Hero. It breaks my heart. You know, it breaks my heart, seriously. And thank you for being such an incredible person, too. You're always giving us song lyrics all the time. Everybody's always into the song lyrics. You always put down for everybody all the inspirational song lyrics. They got depth and meaning. And you're just such a meaningful human being, really, truly. So when it comes down to having that chronic fatigue syndrome, now it's about Epstein-Barr virus. It's about toxic heavy metals. So what do? You got to kill the virus. The details matter. You got to kill the virus. All of this counts. So now you're dealing with a virus. So you got autoimmune. We're dealing with a virus, you guys. You guys, if you want to know this powerful information, I mean, it's in this book. It's on sale. It's on sale, 51% off, Amazon.com US. I mean, incredible. Jackie Saunders says, I was bloated and looked 20 months pregnant. Took 18 months to clear. Details do matter. It takes time and commitment. Keep your faith. It's so important. Thank you for being here, Jackie. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. So we got to get rid of the toxic heavy metals, you guys. We got to kill the bugs that are in us if we got a problem, right? And here's that detail that I read here in the true causes of CFS. It says a high-fat, high-protein diet accelerates the condition. So, wow. So those little details that we have to figure out. What's in your book, Medical Medium, that's different than Cleanse to Heal. So honestly, both books, just so incredible, both books, okay? They're two completely different books. This book's got so many different cleanses in here, right? Supplements and dosages too, over 200 symptoms and conditions. The other book has a cleanse, a powerful cleanse. It's brought people's lives back too. The other book, though, has meditations in there. That's one thing right there, powerful meditations to heal the soul. It has the story of how I started out with medical medium, the gift, and hearing spirit of compassion. And it goes into depth about adrenal fatigue, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, chronic fatigue syndrome, and fibromyalgia. So that's what's incredible about Medical Medium Book 1. Also, Medical Medium Book 1 covers long COVID too. So the whole long COVID. And that's where it originates from. So if you hear about reactivated Epstein-Barr being behind long COVID, that's what this is. It comes from here. It doesn't come from a podcast doctor. It doesn't come from a study. It comes from this book published here first, and then they take the information from here. A lot of people in the health movement, they take the books, take the info out of it, or they take it from the live, they watch the lives. It also covers menopause, PMS, lupus, EBV, chronic fatigue syndrome, like I said. And there's just some of the stuff. That book's packed. PTSD, depression, whole chapter on depression. Cleanse to Heal. It's a whole other level of incredible information. So we're talking about CFS a little bit because so many people are dealing with it right now. And it also comes with the whole thing where exactly the aftermath of the plague people are up against. Cleanse to Heal is a troubleshooter. That's a troubleshooter book right there. And you guys should check it out right there. So it says Cat's Claw right here in the CFS. Cat's Claw is antiviral. So giving you guys a little lesson that's so critical, so imperative, and valuable. It's invaluable, right? So you got the Cat's Claw right there, right? Also, it says barley grass juice powder. But we're making the Medical Medium Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. And then you got the spirulina, it says in here. It says the barley grass juice powder in here too. So that's in here. It goes glutathione right there. That's another one. The stuff that I use, you guys, because I'm always asked that, and I got to kind of catch you ahead of time on that because I know I'm going to be asked. Because it always happens. I get DMs nonstop about it. So it's the Vimergy, V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY, Vimergy.com. That's the supplements that I actually use. I'm not sponsored. On TikTok, Health with Liz. Book is better than gold. Hey, Liz, I'm honored. Thank you. Means the world. Okay? And I really appreciate it. I really do. So, all these little things matter. They truly do. When it comes down to getting chronic fatigue syndrome better, here's a critical tip. Maybe you're somebody with neurological Lyme. Maybe you're somebody with lupus, fibro, RA. Maybe you're just somebody with an autoimmune diagnosis I'm not even talking about in the moment, but it's under autoimmune, which the book covers. But here's a critical detail. Don't get bled to death. Don't lose your immune system. You go to the doctors, talk about getting half vials of blood taken. Protect yourself because they remove your immune system and then all the conditions get worse on everybody. A month later, somebody's worse. Millions of people are worse with their chronic autoimmune and chronic conditions. They got a podcast episode, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. It's called Blood Draw, Bloodletting, and Vampirism. And it's the system, the medical system is drawing too much blood out of everybody. You can ask for half vials, quarter vials. You can ask for smaller amounts and then go in again at another time and not lose your immune system, which then you get in trouble because here's how it works. This details lifesaver. You get too much blood taken, you lose your immune system, and the virus that's giving you sickness, the whole reason why you're in the doctor's office to begin with getting your blood taken, even though the doctor doesn't know you're viral, the whole reason why you're in there sick is because of the virus. And when your immune system gets removed constantly through removing your white count by getting too much blood, your viruses get stronger and you're sicker and sicker and sicker. This is why so many people with Lyme disease have lost their lives. Many have died from getting 20 vials of blood, 15 vials of blood, 10 vials of blood every 2 weeks, 30, 40 vials of blood. Okay? And because their neurological Lyme was a virus, right? Which you can learn about in the Medical Medium books. Okay? And you can listen to the blood draw episode on all the details. And then we get in trouble. Darcy Lee, that podcast is amazing. Thanks. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. My job is to protect you guys. That's my job. I wake up in the morning And it's to protect you guys. We're talking about anxiety, depression too. That's a big one. Depersonalization, bipolar, anything emotional too. We're talking about. We're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie because we got to get metals out. Check out this detail. Okay, the metals end up in the brain. They dampen the electrical impulse field. Neurons weaken, and we get severely depressed. Severely depressed. And getting metals out is critical. It's critical. So important. Let's work on a heavy metal detox smoothie. We're going to juice some celery too. So here we are. Let's get this over here. There's a heavy metal detox cleanse in Cleanse to Heal. Okay? First part of Cleanse to Heal. Check it out. Heavy metal detox cleanse. So all this counts. I mean, your health matters, right? It does. Protecting your health matters. My job is to be that health protector. Nancy says, told a friend about your books. She got it from the library and texted me yesterday, all right, and said it is fascinating. She also wanted to know which juicer I'm using, and I told her it's the Omega juicer, yep, MM900 HDS. That's what I'm going to use to juice in a little bit too. Yep, can you do oat milk in the heavy metal detox smoothie? Nope. Can't do oat milk in the heavy metal detox smoothie. Gotta have it fat-free. Has to be fat-free. Let's get some wild blueberries. So let's talk about what goes in here. Right there. Got some wild blueberries in there. Did it right there. Right? 2 cups wild blueberries. Right? I'm not against you getting a blood test. That's not it. Go to your doctor. Learn how to protect yourself. I'm not saying don't get a blood test. Just got to do it right. That detail matters greatly. Okay? And listen to the podcast, Medical Meme Podcast at Apple Podcasts, the Blood Draw episode. Truly listen to it. You really should. Let's put 2 bananas in here. Let's do 2 bananas. Banana. This is free, powerful information. I get it. Everybody tells me the same thing over and over again. Everybody, people try to reach me, professionals in the world of marketing. You're the big medical medium. Why do you give everything away for free? No one appreciates it if it's for free. That's what they say. No one appreciates it. You have to charge for it, and then they appreciate it. That's what all the spiritual gurus do. They charge for everything, programs and retreats and meditations. Then they appreciate it, everybody. And they go, you know what? Don't insult my people. They appreciate it. The medical meme community appreciates everything for free. Valuable information like this. You just don't insult them by saying that. They do appreciate it. They're not the other people out there in the world that need that for some reason. As Pamela says, are cilantro and parsley equal for cleansing ability? They're not, but parsley, if you got to use it, use it. Okay? I'm okay with that. Parsley's healing on its own. Parsley's really powerfully healing. It's a great medical medium tool. We'll talk about that another time too. Health with Liz says appreciate it so much. You know what? I know I totally know in the sense where you get it. You get why it's free, and you do appreciate it. And I appreciate you like you can't even believe. It's not a substitute for cilantro parsley. It's not a substitute. It's not. But you can use it, and it's helpful. It is helpful, right? It is. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, have you taken pharmaceuticals before? Are you stuck taking pharmaceuticals now? Right? Have you taken antibiotics in your time? Have you taken any kind of pharmaceutical in your time? This is an important piece of information. If you're wondering, why should I do the heavy metal detox smoothie? Why should I do it? If you've been doing pharmaceuticals, if it's something that's been in your life, where you have to do the pharmaceuticals for anxiety, depression, you got to use them for high blood pressure, you got to use them for cholesterol, whatever it is that's happened in your life, you got to use thyroid medications. Whatever happened in your life that is warranted having to use pharmaceuticals, you have to realize inside pharmaceuticals are toxic heavy metals. That's what's inside pharmaceuticals. Lots of toxic heavy metals. Aluminum's a big one in pharmaceuticals. Lots of aluminum in pharmaceuticals. Look at a fluoride treatment in the dentist office. That's a pharmaceutical-based fluoride treatment. That's what those are, pharmaceutical. all that fluoride, right? All that aluminum byproduct. Pills, drugs of all kinds, all have metals. Every single drug, cold medicine, every single pharmaceutical has a toxic heavy metal in it. It doesn't mean stop taking your pharmaceuticals. It means, hey, maybe we can do the heavy metal detox smoothie. Anya says, can you take heavy metal detox when you're pregnant? There's nothing in a heavy metal detox smoothie. Can't use while pregnant. I tell doctors that all the time. So doctors ask me that all the time. There's nothing in there. Cilantro, little seaweed, bananas, wild blueberries, spirulina, barley grass yeast powder. It's all just gentle. But what happens is when you work it together, it cleans out metals, holds on to it, takes it out of the body. You ask your doctor what's right for you. What I would do is tell your doctor you want to do the heavy metal detox smoothie. So if you're pregnant, ask your doctor, can I take the medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie? See what your doctor says. Listen to your doctor. If your doctor wants you on the heavy metal detox smoothie, then do it. If your doctor doesn't want you on the heavy metal detox smoothie, then don't do it. Anyway, one thing that happens is that in the book, just so you know, this explains it in detail for the pregnancy stuff, like what do's and don'ts and stuff like that. So honestly, Amazon.com US, $16.99. Take advantage of the 51% off deal. Take advantage. Or go to the library for free, but take advantage either way. It's here. It's a medical textbook. You won't be disappointed with that book. You won't, you guys. Why get the metals out? Why get the metals out? Because we've taken all the pharmaceuticals, the cold medicines, the antibiotics, the birth control, right? How many women are on birth control? Okay. We've all taken the pharmaceuticals. That's a big place where the toxic heavy metals come from. Right there. Because I know what happens. Sometimes I talk about get the metals out, get the metals out. Everybody's eyes glaze over like, what? There's no metals. I don't see any metals. I'm not eating any metals. The hell is he talking about? I can't see metals. The doctor doesn't see metals inside of me. No one sees any metals. What do you mean? What's going on? That's where the smoke and mirrors, the tricks are right there. And the details matter. So where are your toxic heavy metals coming from? Like, where are they coming from anyway? Did you ever breathe in a little bit of this? Did you ever breathe in a little bit of this? Colognes, perfumes. Did you ever breathe in some? Filled with metals. Like cranked aluminum cans. Did you ever breathe in any kind of insecticide or anything like that? Did you ever have any dental work done? You ever any dental work done? Anything at all in the dental work field? Boom. Insect killer. How many people are like, kill the spider in the house? Kill the spider in the house. Right? Air fresheners, scented candles. That's where the metals are too. You breathing in some scented candles, boom, you just breathe in lots of metals. The pharmaceuticals are a big one. All pharmaceuticals. The metals are relentless. Did you ever buy a new shirt, a new piece of clothing? They're laced with fungicides. And you know what's really annoying now? You buy a new piece of clothing, right, you guys? A new piece of clothing. And you know what happens? Brand new piece of clothing. It's not only laced with a fungicide, but it's laced with air freshener from the factories or where they're making the stuff or where they're boxing the stuff. So there's air fresheners in everything now. They're contaminating all the clothes. You got to wash them. Yeah, you just got to wash them. I talk about the whole thing with scented candles, fungicides, perfumes, colognes in Cleanse to Heal. Critical place to read about it too, you guys. So why do they put, so on TikTok, why do they put metals in there? Why do they do a lot of things to ruin the lives of millions and millions of people? Why? Why does science research turn their back on children with conditions that are so debilitating when they don't even study them? Why do they do a lot of things? Why are homeless, or why are homeless starving when We're throwing away billions of tons of food from every single grocery store that's actually good to eat. And we throw it away each week. And it's a law. You are not allowed to be a grocery store and take 2 tons of food that you're about to throw out that have back dates on them and everything. You're not allowed to take it to the homeless and save all these lives. Why are children in Tent City and you can't feed them because you have to go through some demented system to feed them, right? How come? How come sunscreen is so toxic and scented? Scented and toxic. Like, you don't have to have toxic scented sunscreen, but they do it anyway, right? Like, why do these things, why are chemtrails being dumped on us? Like in the chemtrail episode. Did you guys ever listen to that chemtrail episode? Medical Meme Podcast at Apple Podcasts, the uncensored version. Have you ever listened to that? Why are they killing all our birds? Why, thousands of birds fall out of the sky and just die in streets or fields all around the world, and die in mountains where you don't even see them as they're flying because they run into a chemtrail and they die and they fall down to the ground. Thousands of birds, millions of birds. We're not going to have birds down the road. Why are they doing that? I'll tell you why. Darkness and evil. Darkness and evil. That's it. And there's a war of darkness and light. There's a war out there of darkness and light. There's evil on the planet, and that's what they do. They put terrible things in pharmaceuticals. They put terrible things in our water systems. They put terrible things. It's just, there's dark, evil, right? And light, right? Okay, so doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. We're talking about the medical mean morning cleanse too. I hope you guys are still doing it. Continue it. Make it a part of your life so you can heal. Okay? You guys got to fight for the fragrance thing. You got to fight for knocking it out someday. I mean, you buy clothes, complain when it comes with fragrances on it, right? Packages come loaded with fragrances, complain. When, you're going into your dentist office and they got the plugins and they're just stoking everybody out, complain, right? It's like, because what they're doing, the chemical companies, they don't think you're ever going to complain. And the chemical companies produce all this stuff for fragrances, just so you know, to kill us. You better believe it. The stuff isn't even like safe. They just make a chemical and they put it out that next month. They just make a deadly chemical, put it out the next month, pop it in something like a scented candle or something else, and then the byproduct of all those chemicals goes into the planes to go up in the sky and be dumped on you so they can get rid of it because you're not allowed to dump it in the water system anymore. Complain to others about the perfumes, colognes, because you're just poisoning your kids, poisoning your pets. That's just what they do. Poison your family, friends. They may not know it, but teach them. Fun. Cilantro, I just put in there. Incredible detail. If you do more cilantro, you get more healing done. It's a leafy green, highly mineralized, but also takes out toxic heavy metals. It's got some cilantro in there. Got 2 bananas in there too. And let's do some orange. Cilantro is an herb, but you can use it as a leafy green. That's medical medium information. You could eat it as a leafy green. When I was first, many years ago, as a child practically, when I was first teaching people about all this stuff, I'd be like, cilantro is a leafy green. And they're like, what? Iceberg lettuce? Like, you didn't hear me. Cilantro is leafy green. Iceberg lettuce. There was an iceberg lettuce zombie problem in the health movement. Every single, you guys don't even know, like the plant-based doctors that are out there now that seem to be on everything, like meaning like to be hip on everything, it seems, and all that. They were in iceberg lettuce just 12 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. It was like they didn't even know about a leafy real green, right? And then when I blew up the kale thing, when I exploded the kale thing, because that's medical medium that started the whole kale movement, which turned into kale chips, turned into kale everything, right? That was me lecturing about kale, teaching about kale. That was talking to tens of thousands of people about kale. So when I started the whole kale movement of getting that out there, it got into the system where all of a sudden, then the vegan doctors and other people were like, okay, kale, right? Before that, they're just like, well, iceberg lettuce. It was like, it was unbelievable. Just so you know, there's a lot of products out there that say they're natural fragrances. They're chemical based. They're chemical toxic chemicals. Michelle L., good to see you on TikTok. Great to see you. Such a pillar in the community. You're always helping people out. It's incredible what you do. Really is. All right, got some cilantro there. We got the bananas. We got the wild blueberries. Throw an orange in there. Let's squeeze it in. Nice orange right here. I love the smell of oranges. Mandy, can we use dates in the heavy metal detox? You can. You can. Okay. It's the only dried fruit I'd say would be okay, right? But try to keep the dried fruits out because dates aren't really fresh. Tara Appleman, good to see you. I went to the Kale Festival once. You think they thanked Anthony William, the Kale Festival? Think they thanked Anthony William for breaking his behind on getting that whole kale thing out there? Just like we got the celery juice thing out there? You think they thank AW for the kale? You know? No, of course not. Oh, man. There's some good people in the world, thank God. But there's a lot of bad people in the world. There is. I know there's a big thing in the spiritual movement. No one's bad. Everybody's great. Hitler was a good person. Are you kidding me? That's psycho. That's so psycho. That spiritual brainwashing that's going on with that one. There's no bad people in the world. And Hitler was actually a good guy. He just was misdirected or misguided. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. God, it was genocide. There's no bad people in the world. Meanwhile, we wiped out the Native Americans. They barely exist on the planet. They live in squalor. And then we throw them a bone once in a while and try to publicize it like we've taken care of the Native Americans when we've shit on them for centuries. We just destroyed the Native American culture. No one even talks about it. I mean, look what happens. Even when all the rights come up, where everybody's fighting for rights, for diversity, still they just don't. No one wants to even recognize the Native Americans. It's like, oh no, those are those crazy Native Americans over there jumping around right there. Yeah, no, we don't focus on those at all. Meanwhile, we've genocided them to death. It's just unbelievable. Well, I got to put the spirulina in here in the barley grass juice powder. You tell me if the world is like got it all right or something. Anyway. The point I'm saying is, it's kind of reason why I talk about stuff like that is it comes down to this. If we don't have control over a lot around us, but we got control into what got into us, and if it got into us in a way because of not good stuff out there, okay? I just put some spirulina in here. So what it's about is empowerment. You can dump some chemtrails, but guess what? That stuff that's being dumped on me, I'm going to get out of my body. You can't rule my life. That's what real empowerment is. Real empowerment is knowing what's going on, but being able to do something about it. Because I can make the medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie. I could protect myself from a chemtrail. I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't know what you're doing over there. But I'm going to make sure I'm empowered and I can actually take care of myself. So when toxic heavy metals get into us through all these different ways that I was talking about, right? Because the reason why we went down that place of, the reason why we went down to that place, right, of fragrances and metals being in fluoride treatments, metals coming out of the sky, right, say in a chemtrail, metals in all kinds of different avenues that we're exposed to, metals in pharmaceuticals, right, the pharmaceuticals and metals. And it's like, metals don't have to be in pharmaceuticals. For some reason, somebody thinks it's a good idea who's not looking out for everybody's best interest, right? So the reason why I'm talking about all that is because, hey, we could do something about it. You're not going to disempower me, because I'm going to get the metals out and I'm going to get cleaned up. And that's the key right there. Anyway, spirulina is really an incredible weapon against all of this toxicity. I love it for being a weapon against radiation exposure. I love it being a weapon against the fragrances and the air fresheners and all of that. Okay? So that's what I love these tools. So I just put in a teaspoon in there right there. That's the Vimergy Spirulina, V as in Victor, IMERGY.com. It's the best one out there. By far, hands down. There's no better one than that. So I'm going to put in the barley grass juice powder. That's what I'm doing now. Now, what you're going to find out there is chlorella. Everybody's going to be like, chlorella, that's what you use, right? Everybody's going to be, well, chlorella doesn't work. These details are critical, and I talk about that in Cleanse and Heal. So get a copy when you can, right? 51% off at Amazon. But get a copy when you can. Learn about why chlorella is not the way to go. Medical Meme books talk about that. These are capsules. I'm just opening the capsules, putting it in the smoothie because I ran out of the powder. I got to order the powder, right? So I'm putting some capsules in there. All right, so we got that. This is one critical detail right here. So if you want to get metals out, it's got to be a spirulina. A high quality one is best, but it's got to be a spirulina. Chlorella will not get the metals out. And this is where the whole thing happens again, where the details do matter because people don't realize that. So important, right? Another detail is I don't use the Pacific spirulina anymore. So any spirulina that's derived, grown on, on the west, in the west, any Pacific, okay? The ocean's got too dirty in the last few years. So I stopped quite a ways back. It just got too dirty. It's got even dirtier than ever before. It's at a point now where I just can't even trust anything like that. So this is the best one, is the Vimmer. Just letting you know. All these things count. We got the orange in there. We got the wild blueberries. Let's grind this up. Oh, put a little dulse in there. Yep. Atlantic dulse. Important. Let's give it a little grind. Having fun with the blender. What? Question mark? Spirulina? Vimergy? Yeah, it's a okay, we're good. We are blended up nicely. Indeed, we are. Medical Medium Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. So what I like about the Medical Medium Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, it's like a prayer answered for anxiety, depression. There are people that were in such a deep, dark space with their depression. They didn't want to be depressed. They didn't want to be sad. They didn't want depression, right? But they had such a systemic, deep depression inside of them. The kind that people only understand who have been there, who have been in that zone of depression. Not a depression where something tragic happens and you're trying to move past it and it could take years and you're emotionally injured through it. The depression where, and you can have both. You can have a depression from toxic heavy metals and that depression too, of course, right? But the kind of depression where people are depressed, they don't want it to be depressed, and they're just curled up in their bed. They can't move forward with their life. They feel like they can't push through. They're just living with the depression every minute. It's like a cloud over their eyes. They can't see even though they're looking, even though they can see, but they feel like they can't see anything. They're just living with that depression to such an extent. And I cover depression in here, okay, and Cleanse to Heal. I cover it in the other book too, Medical Meme New Edition. But this is the Medical Meme Morning Cleanse that we've been doing. Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse, so important. Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie has freed so many people, you guys, of that clinical, deep, dark depression. And that means everything for someone who's going through that. And when it comes down to anxiety, it does that too. So what's happening with the depression and the anxiety? Let's cover that real quick. Let's do that. I'm excited about this. So actually we'll cover it this way here. So when it comes down to depression, Toxic heavy metals, they get into the brain. That alone can create the depression because your neurotransmitters are being affected and your neurons are being saturated by toxic heavy metals. Aluminum, mercury, lead, cadmium, copper. Copper's a big one for everybody. And people get copper in their brain and it causes this problem. So it's important. And when the brain gets saturated with metals, okay, and it's not detectable by equipment, technology today. It's not detectable by medical, tests. The doctor can't detect it. Here's the problem with toxic heavy metals. They go deep in organs, and there's not enough of that toxic heavy metal going through the bloodstream for the doctor to identify unless it's a fresh exposure, and then they can identify it if they look, right? But a deep exposure is something where the metals go deep inside the brain, it goes deep inside the liver, deep inside their body. Okay, so when it comes down to depression and anxiety, metals play a huge role because they oxidize, they start to break down. So the metals start to break down and oxidize. And when a metal breaks down and oxidizes, it travels. So instead of being, say, here, right, left hemisphere somewhere closer to the frontal lobe, instead of being there, the metal starts to travel because it oxidized and it outgassed. What it did was it exploded. Metals tend to rust and explode. I hate when that happens. That's why we're live, okay? The head of my dummy just hit the floor. All right, so when those metals, they oxidize and they rust, they travel. It's a byproduct caused by it. So let's go into that a little bit. Like, why are they doing that in people? Like, why are metals, here we go, you guys. Why are metals oxidizing? Why are they moving? Why are they running off? Ashley Kivin, I know it's funny, right? Why do they do that? Because of acids and oxidative fats. So we're told eat fats, eat fats, eat fats. And what you're noticing is medical medium morning cleanse, medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie doesn't have any fat in it. So there's no almonds, there's no almond butter, there's no peanut butter in that smoothie. There's no cacao in that smoothie. So the heavy metal detox smoothie doesn't have the fat in it. Because it's all that high fat diet everybody's up against 24/7 that's oxidating the metals and making them hard to even remove or clean out. So the medical medium morning cleanse is a great way to do some metal removal. That's what it is, to remove your metals in the morning. And when you do the heavy metal detox smoothie, you're one smoothie past your depression. You're one smoothie past your anxiety. You're one smoothie past your bipolar, your depersonalization, your sadness that's unexplainable, your memory loss, your brain fog. How many of you guys have dealt with brain fog? How many of you guys out there have dealt with the brain fog? Just curious. As I know so many of you have dealt with the brain fog. Big time. Big time. Like I know so many of you guys have. Right? PTSD. PTSD can completely worsen when the metals are there. I talk about that in the medical meme books. PTSD can worsen. The experiences that create PTSD can worsen if metals are adjacent to the problem in the brain. Very important to know. So you want the metals out, right? The brain fog is a big one for people. So brain fog, yeah, you had it. Oh my God, yes, you too. Oh, whoa, you too? On TikTok. Wow. Brain fog and PTSD here. Whoa, on TikTok. Whoa. Yeah, lots of brain fog. Yes, you too. So you guys, a lot of you guys have dealt with the brain fog then. Well, a big part of the brain fog is toxic heavy metals. That's a part of the brain fog. It's not the complete picture. Some brain fog cases can be all toxic heavy metals, but some can be low-grade viral issues with the metals, and that's why you need the Cleanse to Heal book to actually learn. It's so important to know. So important to know. The brain fog's a big one for a lot of people. Totally. I totally get it. So let's move that over. You guys, we're live right now. Facebook, we're live on YouTube. Where else we're live on? Clubhouse or live on TikTok, right? Okay. Compassionate Goddess Sarah, I was fired from a job before because of brain fog before I found you. Sarah, just know that I really feel for you on that one. That's awful to be fired for a job, and you're probably a brilliant, unbelievable, amazing worker, person, highly intelligent and everything. And the brain fog people just don't understand. They don't. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're getting better. So glad. The heavy metal detox smoothie is best before you start doing fats. It's best in the morning. That's the best time to actually use it, just so you know. Does the heavy metal detox have to be done in the morning? It is best then, but you can do it at other times in the day if you really want to. You can. You can break the rules a little bit if you have to. There's room for it. Medical medium information is about the details, and all the details matter if you want to go all the way, but for best results, if you want to go all the way. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get some results if you do the heavy metal detox smoothie some other time, or if it was after fats at a certain meal, or whatever it is. It's okay if you have to bend the rules. Russell, I was also fired for general performance issues, aka brain fog. Oh my God. Oh my God. Really, it's so hard. It's so hard. Okay? It's just so hard. I mean, honestly, it breaks my heart. Seriously. Because I know how much goes into all of that. It's not so simple. You went through a lot with that. All of it. The brain fog and everything. People don't know what it's like to have brain fog unless they've been in somebody's shoes with brain fog. People don't know what it's like. They don't know. You gotta experience it, man. You gotta experience it. I'll tell you, experience it, then you know what's up. It's really, really hard on people, that brain fog. Toxic heavy metals play a role in that brain fog. They play a role. Sometimes they play the complete role in that brain fog. Okay? Sometimes they play the complete role. Right? Medical medium info is about getting results, getting people better, and it's not all talk. I notice in the health movement, that's what people are always saying out there now, but it's all talk. Because in order to help someone heal and get them better, you got to protect them. You got to give them the info to protect them. You got to teach them about the blood draw. You got to teach them about these things that no one knows about in the industry unless they get it here. So many details when you really learn the information. It's packed, chock full of nuts. Thanks you guys for coming on. I see more people coming on too. Chris, good to see you today. Inside the Medical Medium Cleanse and Heal book, you guys, is the mono eating cleanse. That's inside the Cleanse and Heal book. So I'll talk about that a little bit. The 369 original, 369 simplified, 369 advanced. Really powerful cleanses inside that book, Cleanse to Heal. I hope you guys get the book. Take advantage of the sale. Hi Anthony, thanks for all these lives. You're welcome. You're welcome. I want you guys to have access to the information. I want you guys to be able to heal. Take it all the way. All the way. Amy Tang says, is the mono eating cleanse safe for breastfeeding? If I was breastfeeding, I would be doing the mono eating cleanse, yes. Ask your doctor ask your doctor what he thinks, what's right for you. But I have a family member who's breastfeeding right now, right? And I made sure she was on the mono eating cleanse because she's got digestive trouble. Anita says, thank you for all your knowledge. Thank you for being here. It's not about a lack of calories. The mono-eating cleanse isn't a diet, a lack of calories, like crunching your calories down. That's not what it is. So yeah, it's not like you're starving your baby or your body of being able to build breast milk. That's not it. You make sure you get the calories in. Yeah. If you want to be plant-based and do that mono-eating cleanse and be plant-based, yeah, you should do it. You should do it. Problem is in the plant-based movement, so much misinformation out there. And I noticed all through the years of the plant-based movement, no one in the plant-based movement, people that were elevated in their position in the plant-based movement, knew why anybody was sick. I mean, okay, let's talk about fast foods and processed foods, but they still don't know why anybody's sick. The plant-based movement, as far as it ever got for information, was if you eat junk food, you're going to get heart disease. So the plant-based movement was all about if you eat junk food and processed foods, that if you eat all that fast food, you know what I mean? The plant-based movement was all about fast food, right? Don't eat all the fast food and kill yourself with all the junk fast food and animal products and animal grease. That was as far as the plant-based movement ever got. They didn't know why 20-year-olds were on Mattress Island, not able to talk or walk. They didn't know why 25-year-olds would lose their jobs and careers, or they would get out of college and get a job and then all of a sudden have to go home and lay in bed. They didn't know why college girls and college boys would have to come back from school and stay at home with their parents and live there for the next 10 years sick. They didn't know that. The plant-based movement just knew about fast food, greasy food. That's what they knew about. So now they're learning more through medical medium, through osmosis, which is medical medium information getting all out there. Plus, I've taught a lot of the plant-based doctors throughout the years about the low fat and other stuff so that they've taken that information further, right? But because, medical medium gets its information from above, they always like to try to find some kind of study that has nothing to do with the information at all, but just has one word in there that's similar and be like, oh, it came from that. No, it came from medical medium because there is no study on that. So anyway, let's get a strainer and do this. And then then all these other people are misled and can't get back to where the real information is so they can heal. That's the only reason why I care about it. I never got into this as a child to be known or anything. That's not the game. That's the bad game. I got into this to save lives, right? And I was forced into it to save lives. And then I had to make sure I got comfortable with that when I was really young. I talk about that in medical medium books, right? That's your celery juice right here. But you got to be really in it to protect people and make sure that you really do get them better. I was working on people, tens of thousands of people for so many decades. And then I was working on all kinds of professionals that were trying to make a name for themselves in the plant-based movement. So they would talk to me, get all this information, right, about heavy metals or about something. And then they would go out there and try to make a name for themselves so they could sell a product and become famous, right? And I sat back in my office while people traveled around the world to come see me in my office because I was known as the bizarre symptoms guy. And that's how everybody got to know me, is I had an answer when there were no answers. And, it should be really about the person suffering, struggling, and knowing where the details come from so they can heal all the way. Not take tidbits to make yourself look big so you can do some documentary somewhere or some podcast, and then not show people the way and be like, you know what? I'll never forget this one case, okay, you guys? This young woman who was 23 years old, right? She lost her job. She couldn't function. She had severe fatigue. She had the eye floaters, tingles and numbness. She had the electrical shocks, right, happening in her head where electrical shocks would almost knock her over. She had the jerks and the twitches and the spasms. She had the back pain, neck pain. She had the burning skin, burning mouth, burning tongue, right, all that stuff, right? And she went to every single doctor, every practitioner, and she finally found this chiropractor this chiropractor in LA, right? She found him, and the chiropractor said, I'm using my intuitive ability, and I think you have Epstein-Barr. Epstein-Barr. And she was like, oh my God, I got an answer for the first time. That Epstein-Barr, it's a virus? So what do I need to do? And the chiropractor kept on saying, I'm not sure, try maybe this, and you got Epstein-Barr. And she was like, oh my God, I have an answer. Maybe I can function for the first time in my life, right? And every time she asked him for more information, this chiropractor said, I'm not getting any intuitively, I'm not getting anyone. Anyway, this person, this woman, got into the lottery system at Medical Medium when I was still seeing people. This is many years ago. She got into the lottery system. She was chosen in the lottery system, and she got an appointment with me. And she told me the story, and I said, it's a chiropractor in LA? Is this person's name this? And she goes, yeah. I go, well, that's a client of mine. The chiropractor in LA wanted to seem like a big wig, knowing a part of the information, but not telling her where the information came from and how she needed to find Medical Medium to get all of it. She was obviously an angel, got her to the direction of Medical Medium, because the minute she got her appointment with me, and this is before I published books that everybody can get a chance to heal, just so you know, the minute she got her appointment with me, she was able to heal and get all the information. And she couldn't understand why this chiropractor would hold back and do this to her. And so she contacted the chiropractor and said, I'm talking to Anthony William. He's giving me all the information about why Epstein-Barr causes this. Why didn't you tell me that you actually knew him, that you actually saw him as a client? And it was an ego thing, right? And that's the problem. That's just one that's just one example. And it's sad to me. So when the podcast doctor says, yeah, there's metals that cause psoriasis, but won't link it back to the only source that ever said that, which is Medical Medium, then how's anybody going to get rid of psoriasis? But yet on the podcast, to look like a superstar. People are like, what? Just, yeah. Anyway, we just made the heavy metal detox smoothie. I didn't do the lemon water. Let's make that real quick. Let's do a little recap. Okay, so we'll make the lemon water. I'm going to do lime water. Almost lost that lime. That thing went flying forward. Whoa, almost hit the screen. So we're going to do a little lime right here. Just a little lime water, 16 to 32 ounces lime water. You should be doing, you guys, the Medical Medium morning cleanse, right? Every morning. Flush out the liver of poisons and toxins. Learn about it. This is on sale. $16.99, 51% off at Amazon.com US. Take advantage of it. Learn how to do the Medical Medium morning cleanse. 16 to 32 ounces of lemon lime water right there. Okay? There we go. All right? 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice right there. Okay? Right? Heavy metal detox smoothie right there. Okay? Those options right there. That's a real powerhouse of a Medical Medium morning cleanse, because it's Medical Medium morning cleanse with a heavy metal detox smoothie. That's incredible right there. That's a window into getting to the finish line. That's the window into getting to the finish line, man. That's it. There's other options in the book that go further. Okay, you can get into the 369 Advanced, you can get into the 369 Simplified, Original, you can get into the Anti-Bug Cleanse, you can get into the mono-eating cleanses for digestive problems, you can get into the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. Yep, said anti-bug. And you can get into all the cleanses, and then you can get into the true causes of the conditions. Learn how to do supplementation right, like learn how. When you learn how to do it, dosages and supplements in here, you are getting the winning tickets. The winning tickets. That's the Vimergy B12. V as in Victor, IMERGY.com. It's the best stuff out there. I'm not sponsored, but the best stuff there is. And that matters, because you get a bad B12, you're not getting to the finish line. This is what people would come to me for. there'd be a waiting list in the millions. There'd be people waiting to talk to me as the decades went by. And I could only talk to so many people daily, right? And it turned out to be over 200,000 people, 250,000 individuals one-on-one since being young all the way to when I published the first medical meeting book. And in that process, that was a fraction of how many people were trying to reach me. And if people knew years later, I'd be sitting here saying, here it is. And they do know because they do have the books. Here it is. And here's the dosages and supplements of what to do and how to do it and what kind. Knowing that, well, this is the one to take, not the bad one. Like, all these things matter. It's so great. It's great. It's great. It's great. It really is. You guys, I'm going to IG, Instagram. Going to have some fun. We're going to do some stuff. Health with Liz. I'm turning TikTok back on right in a little bit because I'm going to Instagram in a little bit. I'm going to turn TikTok back on. And I'm turning Clubhouse back on, you guys. So I'm going to be on IG. Yeah, seeing you guys. You guys are still throwing some comments out. Appreciate you guys very much. I can't wait. So yeah, can you please talk about poor eye contact? Poor eye contact. In the sense, if it's poor eye contact, in the sense where it's exhausting to make eye contact, that's that kind of thing. That's the weakened central nervous system. I've helped out people through that and talked to doctors about it. If it's an issue where it's hard to make eye contact because it's a struggle or you feel like you can't, it's all in the nervous system. It's all about recovering that nervous system, learning how to do that. One day at a time, you can chip away. You can start a little bit at a time. You can start with some celery juice if you really want, okay? And you can start wherever you need to start, right? And but heavy metal detox smoothie, amazing for kids with autism, ADHD, by the way, critical for that, right? Medical Medium Mommy talked about that with her child and how the heavy metal detox smoothie helped with making eye contact for, especially with children with autism. So important. I mean, really, really, this is invaluable information. I love you guys. Going to IG, heading off to Instagram, turning TikTok back on. I hope you guys will be there. I'm really looking forward to it. I love you guys much, okay? And I'll see you then.